Are you ready to be the best that you can be? Join hybrid business coach and consultant Charity Brown and her guest as they give you behind-the-scenes access to the insider tips and tricks that will help you take your business to the next level. Charity has an extraordinary approach to boosting businesses to break out of their modes, influence their industries, and become leaders of their packs. And she's ready to pass this inspiring knowledge on to you today. Learn how to change your game and build your business into what you've always dreamed of, right here on the Create Clarity with Charity podcast.
Hello and welcome to Create Clarity with Charity. I have an amazing guest today. I got Dave Garcia here. He is a CEO of many amazing companies, but let's talk about KinergyCreative.com. That is one of his most amazing artistic and technical businesses, along with so many other things he's doing. David, how are you? Welcome.
I am doing. Hey, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And this lovely Monday evening, and after a long work day, I appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Yes, we're so happy to hear you coming from all the way from Eugene, Oregon. Hey, Oregon.
Hey, go Ducks, go Ducks.
Go Beavers.
Yeah, Corvallis.
Hey.
Yeah, oh. Yeah, right, just 3 feet, a couple feet over here is the border, and it's like Beavertown. I'm like, okay.
That's where I grew up, so I love that you're like,
I know,
grassrootsy, back to the roots. I love Oregon, so I bet you guys are getting rained on right now, though.
Yes, a good question. I don't see rain right now. They're barbecuing in the back. They're barbecuing some meat. I'm excited. Yeah. You reminded me because we got some projects out in Corvallis. There's some video surveillance, but that's okay. Never mind.
Awesome.
I'm not thinking about that.
You got business everywhere, man. I know you're so busy. So let's get down to it, Dave. A lot of people want to know a lot more about you. I mean, you're an entrepreneur. You have that fire. You have that creative. You have that drive. You have that Kinergy connection going on. People just flock to you. You're so funny and awesome.
Thank you.
I know a lot of people want to know a lot more about you and your businesses.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's why we're here today, right? So get ready, get set, grow. Hey. So
absolutely.
I'm not going to start with your consulting firm because you have so many amazing things going on right now. I want to focus on you as the entrepreneur, as the creator of KinergyCreative.com and Kinergy Tech and nerdherd.net and Tempo Consulting, along with everything else that you do. I mean, you've been a previous restaurateur. I mean, you've been doing a lot of business. So I know my audience would just love to know a lot more about you and how you became this CEO of so many amazing different companies. And so the thing is that I think that everybody would love to know is, one, that you didn't even start out thriving as a business owner. You were like a lot of us, getting degrees in areas that probably have nothing to do with our business now. But you made a lot of different career decisions. So I think that people really need to hear a lot more about your story and who you are and how you became the CEO of these amazing companies. So let's go back. Let's go back, way back to college. Let's talk about you got a degree in psychology. I think you've got like 4 or 5 degrees like me. I mean, we're overachievers, so I went to OSU. I got a triple degree. I got 5 certificates. I just kept going to school because in Oregon, that's kind of all you get to do. Kill the boredom.
Career student for sure. Yeah.
Totally. A career student. But you did some amazing things. I mean, with your degrees, actually, which is awesome because you actually use your degrees to help a lot of people and, with your social work and your behavioral therapist and, your linguistics. So let's talk about that. Tell my audience about your passion and your drive, even when you were in school, what really was the motivator for you?
While I was in school, what was my motivator?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So when I first started, my dad, he's like a big entrepreneur in town, in the county, and he's got 80 employees, just a hard-working individual, no nonsense, Nancy. Your word is your bond. When you say something, you're going to do it. When you be on time, you're going to be 5 minutes early, just a drill. And then my mom's kind of the office manager, and she's all love. So he's like, go get him, aggressive, but lover, and like the talky guy. And then my mom's like office manager, love, 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 anything that moves. And so when I first started, I was like, well, I'm going to do business with my dad. I'm going to go to business school. So I did that, like linguist business school for University of Oregon. That seems like where I needed to go. I came from an elite kind of Marist high school. So that was a Catholic high school, so a paid high school. So I had a lot of cool opportunity. My dad just wanted me to have the network and a good education. And honestly, I wanted to play football. And I apologize, my phone's blowing up. But, and so essentially the jam was go to school, but I went there and I was bored, which is the MO of my life. I get bored kind of easily, at least when I was younger. And so I was constantly toiling with like, what do I really want to do? What, like I talk to like mentors and therapists and they're like, well, you just need to do something, feel the fear, do it anyways, know thyself, keep going, don't stop. And so it all starts with a spark of energy. And I've had energy my whole entire life. I mean, I licked batteries as a kid just to test them and then took little dinosaurs and stuck them to the light so they would glow.
I used to do that too. Am I weird?
Yeah, no, I talked to a few people that are like that because we're curious, like, how does that work? So it's just kind of like wanting that connection, wanting that love. And I was only, not to be like weird and flagrant, but I was only nurse for 2 months. So that might have been the other thing too. Like I need connection. And my mom and dad were constantly working. So I'm just like, Mom, Dad, okay, got to figure it out. Go suck on the Mickey Mouse popsicle and watch Looney Tunes or something. And then go work in the backyard and get dirty or something, kind of thing. But back to college, went into business, was like, that's cool, but like, that's what everybody's doing. Like, I want to know why we exist. Like, why are we here?
Because
like,
we're so in the box, right?
Know.
At the university, the framework is not working, right? And you learned that because you probably came out of college with your triple degree and all these anthropology study of, men and species and culture and psychology, the study of the mind and language,
motivation, emotion,
things. And then
symbols,
you come out and you get a job with the state and you're helping all these people in adversity and complicated situations. And how many times did you wish you had that textbook that you read?
I mean, like I was right. I mean, like I did sales, I did other things like even before that, but then even while I was in school and I was doing also alcohol and drug counseling classes as well. And I was learning as I was a shelter manager before the state, I was like, wow, these guys are really messed up or they're really going through a lot of stuff. I don't understand it. I'm learning as I go, but then I'm getting kind of depressed at the same time because I'm seeing all this brokenness and then finally finish my degree. And then I go to this, I do a little bit of tech work with Symantec, and then I go into the state finally to be a social worker and then a therapist in the evening because I still felt like a Band-Aid. I felt like a Band-Aid. That wasn't solve anything. It was like cool, I was in Peru as a 17-year-old and the kids call me daddy and I'm like, well, that's not cool. And I'm doing plays, I'm doing acting a little bit. And then I'm just like, that's a problem. I didn't have goals, but now I've got goals. I want to change the world. I want to change the whole world. This is not good. I want the kids to be taken care of.
And that's what you were like a mentor, a coach, like really one of the things that I talk about in my book and in my podcast is about mentorship and getting a coach. And you were that to so many in your career. But I heard you say a minute ago when you were in college and you were trying to find your way back that you got with your mentors and coaches and they helped put that fire back in you and helped get you that drive to really, accomplish all the things that you've done. Right.
Yeah. Right. Yep. They steered me in the right direction, whether it was like a piece of paper that I didn't like, or like a class, it would just keep bouncing me like a pinball. And then eventually the biggest turn on, the biggest thing that was the biggest aha moments of my entire life was when I put on, these right here. They were different, of course. These are really awesome. But I put headphones on because my psychology paper was to like do a psychology paper. And I did statistics and all these different classes, just add them all up, mostly like humanities and soft sciences. But then there was science too. And I'm just like, okay, I have to write an 18-page paper. Oh, another paper. Okay, fine. Well, I'm going to listen to some music as I'm walking across the street down by the University of Oregon. So I put the headphones on and I'm like, oh my gosh, on this band called Skillet, and it's this gal with this awesome voice and orchestra and rock, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Why am I so excited? I'm so energized. I'm not tired right now. That's the key. Music. What is that all about? So then I studied music, and I learned about musicology, and musicology helps the whole ecology and makes everything flow. And then I'm like thinking with colors, and so it helped me kind of get to that headspace. And to help me
the
hacking
energy,
humans.
the frequency of the music, people really program that now for more powerful, uplifting energy.
Yes.
That's it. You must have tapped it. What was that band called? Skillet?
Skillet. And it was, I think the song was called Skillet. Now I've got so many different bands. I'm a drummer, actually. I'm a drummer, and I'm also a singer-songwriter. MarkMauer.com, like Mark My Word, because I mean it, .com. It's under construction. Mark my word. But if you go to DaveGarcia.live, it's a 7-minute 48 song. And you know, my hip hop friends are like,
about DaveGarcia.live because we are here on DaveGarcia.live. And so, let's talk about this. We got the about you, your quotes. There's lots of videos. Looks like you're at a rave here. Looks like you got your are you a DJ too? Like DJ
drummer.
You got your
all that
going.
kind of stuff.
Oh, nice. Your grand opening is on here too for Kinetic Creative.
Yeah, grand opening. Yep. Both Nerd Herd and Creative in the Kinergy Tech. So it is a breakdown. We're having another ribbon cutting for this new location because it's like the epicenter. Like, it's amazing. I can't even begin to describe the law of attraction
in Eugene as well?
And how everything's worked out. It is on the tip of Eugene. Even people that have lived here for 25 years, they're like, wait, it's in Eugene? So I thought this was Junction City. I thought it was Salvador. I thought it was Elmira. I know, it's like right in the junction. People are spilling in here. Kids with, I don't call it mental illness, but kids that have a little bit of, and then regular kids, they just kind of come through the door. And I'm like, hi, do you feel like home? Yeah, this is home.
But you also work nationally, right? A lot of your clients are from online nationally. They don't have to actually go to your store, but you have a few there, right? In your old restaurant.
Yeah, I just love being with people. Yes, we're doing cooking. It's zoned for commercial. This is where I met my second in command for burritos because the nerd heard the gal nerd, and she was fixing my mom's phone before I even met her, and she was doing a security for Oakway Center, which is my childhood, a security guard. And she's only been here for a couple of years. And so anyway, she's been an awesome person. And so anyway, so I came over, I'm like, oh, this is the place. Okay.
Is that you had
and that was
girl? That's how the Nerd Herd started?
That's how it really took off because of a gal. Yeah. Because of a woman who knew how to empathize and take what I was saying, because I think there's a lot of area of opportunity for men to learn how to appreciate the women and to listen and to not talk so much, not jackhammer the wrong things. And so I was already going and doing my little thing with the chick with head cut off. I'm like, yeah, everybody pay attention. We got to do this. And then she heard, she's like, what's up, Buttercup? I know how to give a dog a bone. And I'm like, whoa, okay, you're a mechanic.
You guys have a good thing
with the
Nerd Herd, right? Because the Nerd Herd is your IT side. So you took your creative that you really captured after you jumped ship working with the state and doing all the social work and all the, advocacy stuff that you were doing. And then you jumped into corporate, right? And like you just hit semantic running and you like just scaled all the way up the corporate ladder to CMO, chief marketing officer. You were really managing a huge corporation. You learned all the ins and outs of all this highly technical IT and marketing. And that's what birthed these babies, right? That's what, like, other than your friend that you were just talking about who knew how to work with cell phone technology and all that. But also, that's really where you kind of came out into the world of entrepreneurship. You literally just jumped and said, I can do this. I can have my own business like this, doing this, making a lot more. Yeah.
Well, so I was like a commercial, like, your $2 million quota, nothing huge. I mean, it's a pretty good quota, but like I was given the opportunity to have all sorts of facets because sales is so generic. I mean, there's all these different positions on what that fits like, but I had a territory at Virginia and Maryland, and I got to tell Discovery Channel that Kim Jong-un hit their network, and because like I got an FBI letter, and then I got to talk about Naked and Afraid and Seth Rogen and how they hacked Sony, and I'm the front guy, but I also had been a tech in the past, very basic consumer level and residential, knowing blue screens of death and knowing root cause analysis, and so to avoid the paralysis. But it basically getting in there with some big Fortune 1000, Fortune 500 companies to have these critical conversations to then bring in the big nerds. And then But it taught me to like really own it, because I didn't want to just be some basic scripted salesperson. I have always wanted to be myself. I mean, I've always wanted to, like, I had like coaches from the Ducks that coached us at Merritt say, I got to get rid of my yellow hair if I want to like keep playing elite. No, I'm going to keep my yellow hair. And then I quit.
Well, and you have that heart-centered connection. You have that heart-centered human connection that you really are about the humanity, also about others, which is why you're on my show. Because it's all about that heart-centered entrepreneur, that evolutionary entrepreneur that's giving back while helping people grow. And it's not just all about the money, but you really wanted to also tap into your creative and be able to give back.
I mean, because how do you do that in this age, right? It's me, my suit, my salad. It's survival of the fittest. It's the faster is the better. And actually, what's so funny is that's probably not how Nutter Butter came about, or McDonald's, the originators, before they, mass produced it. Guys and gals were like, we do this because of our community. I made these burgers because I want people to come together. I want people to come to the fire. I want people to come in a circle. I want the chiefs to be talking, and the people that are working stuff their mouths. They can't talk because they're working all day. The ladies have been cooking. We enjoy their food, and then someone's playing the flute in the corner, and that's been since the land before time. And that's the jam. But we've gotten lost along the way because that greedy, too much Turkish delight. And then it becomes kind of a show, and then it's all about Hollywood, which is a little bit of a problem. And so I guess my thing is, like, I've had to toil and spin for a while because it's not the easy path. The easy path is to just join a big corporate, and it's all fit and cookie cutter for you. And all your apps, you push a button, it's on your tablet. You get the phone in the car and the credit card and all that kind of stuff. But not unfortunately, but through just life, I couldn't leave. Because I got into a relationship with somebody that was related to somebody who was related to Prefontaine, and I got stuck here because I wanted to be a dad because I had a kid here, and so I couldn't leave. So, but there's a lot of jobs here.
They never stopped your entrepreneurial drive, and that is your heart center.
Never.
I mean, you want to have a good relationship and future for your son. You're leaving a legacy. You're starting businesses. You're building wealth. You're creating something that you can leave for him, and it's also the drive for your clients and the creative and being able to really. And
and the critical piece that I would say this, regardless if it's sales, marketing, therapy, plumbing, whatever, fill in the gap, barbecuing in the back, what keeps you up at night? That you solve. First, seek to understand, like Stephen Covey would say with 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. First, understand, then be understood. Understand your audience, because maybe they don't want to buy anything from you because you're creating relationship. There's relationships and there's relationships, as Dane Cook would say. And I'm just saying, like, that is the goal, because if you put others first, that law of attraction, it comes right back to you, just like paying it forward. What goes around comes around. Know thyself. Feel the fear and do it anyways. Read part of those books, but as you do it, it's good, especially if you already know you're a part Stardust. If you know that you're an awesome Marvel Comics hero, you don't need to watch Netflix to be reaffirmed that, and you can do it. Boom, go get it.
Yeah. So let's talk about the key technical things that the audience needs to know, because I know they're relating with your story, because there's so many of us out there that were, professional students, went and worked our degree, and then, wasn't really what we thought. We're too much in the box. They're not allowing us to really help people. So then we jump into a different area, like you did with sales, and then marketing and being a CMO, and then unearthing and developing these amazing platforms now where you help people do marketing. So let's talk about the top things that you do. This is your consulting, your consulting company, Tempo, consultinggroup.org. This is more of a collective. This is like up my alley, because, my CEO Crossing group and my amazing community where I invite CFOs, CEOs to come share the wealth and help each other grow. It's very organic and grassrootsy. You're bringing all these consultants and professionals together to help create a place where people can really get the answers, right? So let's talk about that a little bit.
Right. So basically what it comes down to it, I would say I'm more of like a puzzle piece keeping. Here's my puzzle piece. My son, it broke off today, but I caught it. His name is Azzy, Azriel Golidorna Garcia. And on the other says DNA, because he's my DNA, but it's Daddy and Azzy, or David and Azzy. And so, but when people are like, what's the truth? It just sets you free, but it's all relative, because the messaging is off. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got a spot. all these things. But then I'm like talking to my second in command. I'm like, Kaylin, let's talk about boundaries, because it's all relative, right? No. everything's a puzzle piece. It starts with chaos, but then if it's all puzzle pieces and it's chaos, then you start with the corner pieces and you start puzzle piecing things together.
And that's what
so I'm a puzzle piece.
All those pieces,
Yes.
right? All those pieces
Yes.
we're looking for. It's everything, the pieces that we need to make it all go. And we don't have to wonder anymore and try to fit them to match, because you got all the people and the tools right here: website and app creation, SEO, search engine optimization, manage IT services, social media, web design, all those things for marketing and branding. You guys do best, right?
Right, and don't message the little widget down there, the instant message. I got to edit that. This is an old website, but it does kind of give you this kind of synapse of what the idea is, of what I've been trying to do from the beginning, which is kind of having a hub of opportunities in-house, and of course there's out-house collaborative services like partnerships that we can pull in solutions that we're just not specialized in, because you don't want to spread out too thin, because then you're a master of none. But, with the right energy, you can. So that, that's kind of the
you're still in the marketing space. You're still in the
marketing space for sure.
But the main thing, so for the audience out there, so they're like, oh, this guy sounds awesome. He really has all this insane knowledge, is really connected with them, his story. What do we want the audience? What can they get from you right now? Like, if they're like, okay, I totally just connected, I really want to talk to Dave. What should they do?
Yeah. Well, so there's a couple things. First of all, boom, hi, nice to meet you. I'm going to be your friend, and you can come here, or we can just talk on the phone, because I was an actual therapist, and was an actual social worker, and was an actual mentor, which we all are. It doesn't have to be titles. So that's cool. So you like it. You got a little sound bite. I added in my LinkedIn, I'm a motivational speaker. I even got the motivational certificate like years and years ago. So like, if you want to get motivated and get picked up, awesome. That's awesome. There's going to be a channel for the motivational stuff. That's cool. Now, okay, cool, Dave. I already know Tony Robbins and Gary Vaynerchuk, Ty Lopez. That's fine. That's cool. I'm over it. Now, what else? You want to keep going down the yellow brick road? I call it the emerald brick road because it's actually related to a story that's actually here physically, but I'm going to go into it. But the next piece is this. Now that we're pumped up and like we can give a dog a bone because we're so excited and we're energized. Now that we have energy, spark is the start. Now, what do we want to work on? You got some digital plumbing that we need to do? Okay, cool. You believe that I can talk about it. Now can I be about it? So let's talk about IT. So the nerd herd. You got like a therapist that actually was a tech who's got a bunch of really badass nerds that are smarter than him on the tech specs. And now we can actually like nerd herd you, nerds herd, nerds serve, especially if you're nice. But if you're not nice, we'll still fix you. But and then we've got like asstap.org, but I don't know if we'll use that. That's later on. But the main jam is have a little bit of humor with it, have a little bit of forgiveness. But let's do IT. So specifically, locally, boots on the ground. Right now, we're thinking about franchising. So I'm open for those who want to do that, the franchise piece, or just implement it because we've got models for this. So on the IT side, think of Geek Squad. So video surveillance, remote. Right now, we can remote anywhere in the U.S. to solve your computer's slow, you need a network. I mean, anything that you can think of, and we can take care of that remotely. Just like I did at Norton when I was younger, we could remote it anywhere, blue screen it dead, the thing's slow, got a virus, like whatever, we can do those things. Now, obviously,
and you have a whole team
package,
that calls everyone, right? You have a whole team that does the whole thing. So you can do this.
I have a team that can fall through. I can do it naturally.
Okay. Any state.
I've got elite level guys that have their own companies that just want to work with me, and we can just do it that way. Or I have in-house guys that can do it as well. So that's just know that regardless of what it is, it's probably going to be less than what you're already paying, because we have a lot of revenue streams anyways. And then I guess I'm a therapist and a social worker, want to help, but people are telling me I do need to kind of pick up my prices, but it's custom. We want to be gentle and gracious. Like my AOL instant messenger when I was a kid was custom built with a Z. I was always been like, I want to be custom.
Yeah.
So
custom
that's
packages
kind of
are the best. So that's what I want to talk about, because you do have a package deal. It's not on the Nerd Herd, but it is on Kinergy Creative, or that's where they would be getting this. If you guys haven't checked out kinergycreative.com, come check out his amazing graphics. If you're not seeing this on the vlog, on the YouTube video cast, then it's really pretty fascinating, super cool graphics. And he'll design you a site like this with all the SEO, with the creatives, with the logos. If you want to get rebranded, if you want to get rebranded, if you want to get digital
animation,
SEO, really high-end graphics, really interactive, really.
And through that process, I'm going to ask you, but what are your actual goals? Like you're just saying, I want to make a bunch of money. Now, why do you want to make a bunch of money? Well, I've got some kids that are on like medication that costs $6,000 a month, and that really drives me. Okay, so you want that. Now, is there anything else that you're passionate about? And then I actually go into even deeper stuff as a therapist, because I put that hat on. And I look and also linguistics and also foundational learning about, you know, where we come from, because key to growth is tapping into your roots. So then we talk about, well, I won't go into it, but we go into more depth in terms
of
the people
that you've worked with. They work with the corporations like Nails Uncorked, Diamond Detailing, Sushi, Domino, Ocean Breeze, Halfway Cafe. So you've worked with a lot of restaurants. So you've done restaurant branding, you've done techie branding, you've done green,
everything. Plumbing, construction, trucking. It's not updated. We got the internet companies. We've done local internet. Well, it was my old company I used to work for. But yeah, internet. I mean, physical, digital, e-commerce. If you want to get into e-commerce, if you're like a personality and you want to get your stuff gifted, you know, we've only been around. I've only been doing entrepreneurship on my own. I started in my kitchen on the counter. And I made some phone calls and did a deal with a huge school district to take care of some hack job for cybersecurity. But it's only been 5 years. I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years. And for 1.8 years or 1.5 years, I was depressed in bed, smoking cigarettes every like 3 hours because I lost a lot of time because I was going through a divorce. And so I was really hurting. So really,
you collectively, your comeback is vicious.
Yeah, I mean, totally recovered.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's part of the story. That's totally part of the story about overcoming adversity, being beat down, and knowing how to get through. I didn't know. I thought it was over. I honestly thought it was over. I was overweight. I was unhealthy. No one wanted to talk to me. I acted like a weirdo. You know. So like, and now with that healing process, like pruning back the bush. Now it's like, ow, and it's like, you know, much better. And now I know how to handle that.
Yeah.
Especially when everything's taken away.
That's
because
awesome.
Like Temple Consulting Group. Like when you land on Temple Consulting Group, it's a seed that goes down into the ground where it's dark and no one cares about you. It goes down, no one cares about you. It's dark, but then there's this brokenness that happens and it breaks.
The dark night of the soul.
Exactly. And then the roots go down, because the deeper that your roots go down, that wind, that rain, that whatever it is that wants to make you cause disdain, it actually doesn't move you because your roots are so deep. That's why we've got so many beautiful hip hop artists that have so much storytelling, anti-yelling, getting people in the right steeple, because they've got something they went through because of the streets. Now, I'm not a bit of a street kid, but I work with the street kids. But then I got kicked to the streets almost because I lost. There was some big challenges, you know, which is good. I'm very thankful.
Your story is amazing.
Yeah.
And you should write a book.
Very thankful.
And I hope I can help you.
I'm very thankful.
You're doing really
well. I always wanted
what
to.
you got. We need to write you a book, Dave. But this show is only, 30 to 45 minutes. And I know, like, people feel like they know you a lot better now, and they probably relate a lot. Like I did. I know a lot of people are relating to, where you came from. The struggle is real, man. You really put yourself out there and helped a lot of people in your earlier career. And then now you're doing that in entrepreneurship. It's really admirable. So with all these options, I mean, it all boils down to the marketing and branding and really getting you guys the tools you need to be seen, right? And to have valuable assets online. And Dave can get that for you. So Dave, tell them where they need to do so they can connect with you. Which site, what do you want the audience to do so they can start their new branding with you?
Just like I do when I'm dancing downtown and some people come up to me like, I like your suit. Because I got all these crazy little gadgets because I'm in the country too, and I got all these like functional tools and they're colorful. I kind of look like Willy Wonka.
I love the bow tie.
Right, and then it's it. Usually it's on Bow Tie Tuesday. It's like back in semantic days. But like they're like, can we give you your suit's cool? Can we give you a 5? And I'm like, can I give you like a 5 without even touching you? Like, and I'm like, yeah, sweet. So here it is. Dave Garcia.live, high five. And we still give it a high five. So Dave Garcia.live, that's the hive. And so when you create the hive and the honey, the bees come and you share. And then literally the other day, a bee landed on my foot. I'm like, what? That's cool. But anyways, so like, and that's kind of the jam. So you go there and you can, I like it very easy because depending on what kind of person you are, whether you're a director of marketing or you're a salesperson or you're someone who's like a procurator, you're procurement, you're trying to find certain solutions. Sometimes I just want to send a quick email. It all depends on where you're at, what mid, large enterprise, local startup, but don't feel like we're so big that you can't approach us. We have residents and we have small and mid. So like anybody hit us up. And if we can't get you, I don't want to become the DMV, but we'll tell you like, hey, it's going to be a minute, but you can call, you can text, and then we'll have to update the site to maybe change the funnel to make it so you got to fill out a form. Like on the Nerd Herd, there's a form because there's a lot more traffic on that site, because you have to also kind of funnel the stream. Like I tell people like that too. Like if we get the phones to ring, can you handle, is it going to hit your customer service? Is it going to hit your procurement? Is your accountant team, your legal team going to be freaking out because they can't handle the load? That's the other thing. You got to be careful about like, hey, let's go to market. Is your product even that good? Some of the best marketing is your burger is like triple source Rex, and it's no marketing. I don't want any marketing. This is my food. This is my marketing. I'm like, okay, all right.
It's always about the burger, man. Don't forget, it's always about the burger. It's like
don't forget about
it's all about in the U.S. Just get a burger. But okay, so let's not confuse everyone. I just want to be sure.
We're just here to challenge in and out. I want to challenge in. Just kidding. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Love them. It's fine. We're McDonald's.
What I do want you to say though is, we're getting to the tail end of this awesome podcast. Thank you so much for divulging so much valuable insight about yourself and giving this opportunity for the audience. But what is the last thing, if that you could say to the audience as entrepreneurs, as people that are looking to scale and be entrepreneurs and maybe even jump ship and start their business? What is the best words of advice that you've ever received, or do you have for the audience?
I mean, I just always say this. I mean, it's about, so Kinergy, if you can Google that, I mean, there's going to be others as well. Kin is family. Can is connection. Longitudinal TED Talks 80-year study shows that the more you connect with people with actual listening and caring without you saying something, and you guys create that oxytocin exchange like a mother and a child, take it back to the center where you were born. You're listening to the lady that birthed you. When you can do those things, you can listen with empathy, then all of a sudden you create a synergy. Synergy Solutions, Family Synergy Solutions, which is Kinergy Tech. And then home is where the heart is where the start is. Take care of your tetherball pole. Put that thing in the bedrock, because there's a little electrons, your children, whether it's your employees or your people, but if you're stretched out too much, then you're going to fall apart, and then you're nothing, and your coffee's all over the floor, and it's one more lick to the center of the Tootsie Pop. So find a way to optimize, because once you optimize your life, then you realize things, and guess what happens? Then you actualize and you get things done, and that's the headspace. But I'm just saying, sum it all up.
Did y'all get all that? I don't know. That was a lot. Oh my gosh. I'm having program overload. You're also right.
I know.
That all sounds so right. Yeah. But yes, keep it, what you're saying is keep it heart-centered, keep that heart-brain connection, really go with, creating that energy and camaraderie with your staff, with your family, keep it all heart-centered, and don't lose your heart on business, right? Yes. So
once you have that,
and that's, I think, why we connect, because you really do have that soulful, down the earth, really heart connected, mission and within your business, and really the reason that you want people to grow is so awesome. Plus you have all these amazing tools. So everyone,
thank you.
Let's all thank Dave for being here, and get with him, check out his Kinergy Creative site, get your website, get your creatives. If you go to these .coms, you'll see why they're pretty magnificent. They're all a bunch. It's all like art.
And we do cinematography. We do branding. We do packaging. I mean, we can do all sorts of cool stuff on the marketing side, and we do graphics on things. So those of you that are here in Oregon, we can still, and naturally, we can ship you your apparel. You want apparel? You want like hats? What do you want? I mean, we can do all that, and make sure, we'll talk to you about your birthstone. We'll talk about your sign. Those things that are really relevant to your story, like how you got birth. It's interesting sometimes how that unpacks. It's just very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and you have some amazing testimonials. Your clients are just raving about you. You've done a lot of great stuff there locally, and I really hope that you get some national market space. So let's have you back, and we'll talk more. So everyone, go to Kinergy Creative or the Nerd Herd or tempoconsultinggroup.org. You can check the show notes. All of these links will be in there. You can connect with Dave, even on LinkedIn. Hey, I got
Dave Garcia.live. Yeah, LinkedIn's great. Dave Garcia.live, that's the hive. You just to keep it simple, but you can go to those places too. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yay, Dave. All right, everyone. I hope you had an amazing time listening to this amazing entrepreneurial evolutionary here who's got that heart-brain connection that we also need. And we need those light workers and people that are really connected, Dave. So I really thank you for being here. And I hope to have you back again sometime soon.